All right, welcome everyone to the Serious Angler Podcast, where, as always, our main course for you will be talking and hopefully teaching you more about bass fishing. And that, of course, does not come without a distraction or 10 here or there. Whether you're here to learn or just hear some bass and banter, you guys are in the right spot. And we have the whole crew with us here today. As always, I'm your host, Bailey Egbrett. Joined with me is the Bassin captain, Mr. Andy Full, and Idaho's finest elk killer, Mr. Adam Deacon. What's going on, boys?
Man, just enjoying a nice little bit of the fall right now. Sun's about to go down in the next hour, and I've got 2 more days on a archery deer license. So after this show, I'm gonna go see if I can catch last light, and I've got a hillside I want to glass, put some eyes on it, and see if I can find this big mule deer buck I keep seeing. But he's been real tricky.
Yeah, it's in the hunt grind season right now, which I thought, you know, well, we always thought, I think, that the July August time was crazy for us between podcasts, other stuff we have going on personally, tournaments, fishing in general. But then you mix all of that. I feel like September is probably the craziest month, September, October, because you have all that still happening. But then now you mix in, for those of us that hunt, you have that intertwined, and it just makes things like there is no free time. There is no such
Yeah,
thing.
and then it becomes hard to balance it, right? Like because you're always thinking about the other thing and what you want to be doing. Like you're sitting in a tree stand, I'm assuming you're like, "Oh, I bet the bass are chewing today." And then you're on the water
Yes.
and like you see a deer and you're like, "Oh man, I should be in the stand. They're moving. Dang it."
Yep, that's exactly right.
And then there's this whole thing called work and podcast and how we make money and all this stuff to throw in the mix. And you're like, I, I could be retired right now. I could do that. Like I've got plenty of activities. I don't need to have a
Yeah,
job. All right. Like,
right, right. What
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
job?
exactly. What is? What is?
people who
Yeah.
say they don't know what they would do if they were retired, honestly, I just don't get it. Like I have plenty of things that I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's this thing called a lake and a tree. I'm gonna pick one every single
Yeah.
day.
Well, the
That's
unfortunate
right.
truth is like a lot of people work to live, right? Instead of people
Yeah.
live to play,
No, no,
right? Like
no. They
live
live
to
to
work. Yeah,
work,
sorry. Uh,
and then we work to
Yes.
live. That's
I
the
may or
best
may
way to
not
put it.
have had a few
Which
adult beverages through the midday. So
I, 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 I was noticing. I was noticing just like a little slurring. I didn't
no
want to say
slurring. I'm
anything, but
just
I
tired.
appreciate
I just woke up from a car nap. So
that. Oh, the
Dude,
big build.
there is something to one, a car, like a nap in the truck,
Oh,
or a 30-minute to hour-long nap on the couch. When you wake up from that, you forget what day of the week it is. It might be 2 days from now, you'd have no idea.
uh,
You're always out of it.
dude, I got one that one ups that. So there's this really big mule deer. Well, big mule deer I'm chasing, and who knows? It's the end of the season here,
you
so
fell
we'll
asleep
see
in the
if we
stand.
if we. No, not in the stand because this is western like walk-in country to where there's no really spot to put a tree stand. But I bedded this deer. I didn't know exactly where he was, but I knew he was in this patch. And so how I've been hunting these mule deer is seeing if I can glass the exact bush or the exact tree that they'll bed under. You can't see them unless you catch them moving into it because they're just so sneaky and so hard to see. But then I'm getting the wind right and then dropping in on them. So I didn't know where this buck was, but I knew he was in this zone. So I just bet. I betted. He betted. I then also set up, upwind of downwind of him. No, upwind of him. I'm the right sort of the wind with a thermal. Anyway, I basically
One, he doesn't smell you.
yes. So then I just fell asleep under a bush in the shade on yesterday afternoon at like 3 in the afternoon, and it was the most wonderful nap I've ever had. And I woke up to him just raking a bush, and I was like, "It's time." It wasn't time. He didn't give me any opportunities, but it was a wonderful nap. So I agree with those naps.
Nice.
Talk about a perfect time to wake up, though. I mean, shoot, imagine waking up and it's dark and you didn't totally miss your window. That would have sucked royally.
Next thing he knows, why is the sun rising?
Yeah,
That would
yeah,
be terrifying. No, thank you.
Oops.
There's wolves
yeah.
and
No,
bears, and mountain lions in Idaho.
don't want to mess with
Mm-mm.
that. That's for dang sure. But obviously it's been a little bit of inconsistent pods for you guys past couple weeks, so apologies on that front. But with that, we have a, obviously you've seen by the title, we have a topic for today's show, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But as we're catching up with the boys, I guess Andy, to you, man, what's been going on the home front for you the past couple weeks beyond just some beers and
Um,
Bills dubs, I should say.
Fishing, guiding, fishing's been terrible. Um, yeah, it's
Really?
just that weird fall transition. They're like kind of everywhere, but not anywhere at all. And it's like, I shouldn't say it's terrible. It's really hard to catch big ones. Like, it seems like all the big ones are just kind of off doing their own thing. Like, had guide trip yesterday, I think I ran 45 waypoints, like just trying to find a good group of 3 to 4 pounders for my clients to catch. I could catch a 4 pounder, like if I just put the trolling motor on 9 or 10 and chase fish around, because they're on nothing. There's roaming, the big ones. But the small ones, I found 2 groups of like 30, 40 fish, and we were able to lean on them a little bit. But I burned 3/4 of my tank of gas trying to figure them out yesterday. So that was fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, well, it's okay. You got 3 days until that special month that starts with an O when things start getting pretty gnarly out there. But hey, I will give a shout out to the boys. They were obviously they're friends of ours here in New York. Have the best tackle shop in New York State, Doc's Tackle. They had their little rumble on the river up in the St. Lawrence. I don't know if anybody else saw the weights from that derb, but that was freaking nutty. I think it was 8 fish, I think, over 7 pounds caught
Mm.
in St. Lawrence in Ontario.
Wow.
Something, I think 781 was the biggest one. That one
I
big
think I
bass
saw
for
there
that
was
event.
7/7.
7 over 7. Either way, like 5 over 7. It's just ridiculous. But shout out to the Doc's Tackle folk. Sounds like they put on a pretty awesome event over at Rumble on the River up here in New York. I think it was 50 boats at least. I think I don't know if it was capped at 50 or they had at least 50. But a cool event. All the local hammers showed up for that one. But sounds like things are much better on the Ontario home front for big ones than it is Erie right now. But I'm
Yeah,
sure that'll change, Andy.
it's
All right.
they're getting to where they need to be. It's just work to make them bite. So
Yeah.
it's fine. It's
Well,
fishing. It's always
that's good. At
just
least you're
trying to
fishing.
learn. That's all we can do.
Yeah. Well, Deke's been trying to put one on the ground. Andy's been trying to find some big smallmouth. And I had a couple of state championship derbs that I was literally just trying to figure out how the heck I was going to catch one bass. It was pretty tough fishing, but it was a successful couple state championships. We came out on top in the first one, but there's only 13 anglers in it. But it was a fun. It was actually a really cool format. I'm curious your guys' take on this. So the bigger one of the two NYKBF was this past weekend. Had 35 anglers, I think, in it. It was the typical 2-day, 5 fish a day format. But this one that we had, Slay Nation, was it was your best 5 over 2 days, which I didn't even realize until like so they have a little team side pot where you can like join together and have like a little fun team competition. I'm talking to my buddy who's on my team, and I'm literally launching that first morning thinking this is a 2-day, 5 fish a day format. And he goes, "Yeah, it's gonna be weird to only have to catch 5 or 2 days." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then he told me about the format because I wasn't paying attention. But dude, it was kind of cool to be honest. Like
I've never
it
heard of
was
that.
cool. No, it was interesting, and I get where they're coming from with it. Was over 2 days, like if you have a bad day one or don't catch a limit, you're out of it for day two. Where if you only catch 3 day one, you're still in it for day two, especially if you catch
Right.
a couple big ones and if it's tough fishing. And it kind of adds more stress to that leader where it's like if you're leading by 10 inches or in boat terms, if you're leading by, 7, 8 pounds going into day two, or it's kind of like you have a nice cushion. There is no cushion in this format. Like you can just have leader can have 89 and 90 inches or say 22 pounds. And then the next person the next day goes to catch 25 pounds. It keeps everybody in it for the whole tournament, which is I thought was pretty interesting. But also, like when you're leading it, it was a cool perspective of like I only need to go swing for 1 or 2 bites all day long and not have to worry about catching 5. So
Yeah,
it was
that's
cool.
that's where my mind first went with this. Was like it'd be kind of
You can
fun
just go
because
fish.
you'd almost do the heavy hitter approach during the MLF stuff of like if you do, you'd play it riskier, right? Like the way that I used to fish 5 fish tournaments this way all the time was like, I'm going for 5 to 7 bites today, and if I land them, I'm gonna have a really big bag. And I've learned to like be more consistent and not do that all the time. But I think that would make it very doable to go do that.
Yeah, no, 100%. You go catch your base, and like especially if the fishing's good, right? Go catch your base, but then just go like you're saying, go head hunting for the rest of the day. And then if you get one or two to go, great, because then the next day all you gotta do is go hunt for another one or two. And that was a cool perspective. But yeah, I don't know. I thought I was throwing that out there. I thought that was interesting. But without going too long winded here, I know we do have some industry news to get into here, Deacon. So we want to get into that.
Sure. Yeah. So, Business from the Bass Pro segment is brought to you by our friends over at Rec Lending. Guys, Fed rate has dropped. Interest rates have come down slightly on things. So, pay attention to that. Always worth giving a call to the boys at Rec Lending to just see where things stand. The folks at Rec Lending, I should say. Yeah. So, I think the first business news I would say is going to be the Hobie, well known kayak brand. Very, been around quite some time. I would say a pioneer, if you will, in the fishing kayak space, has been acquired by Bass Pro Shops. So, big news there. What is your take? Are we positive or negative on the news of Hobie being acquired by Bass Pro Shops, gentlemen?
My first take on this one is it's kind of twofold, where it's I'm optimistic because I think anybody else different from who else was running Hobie at the time is probably better than who was originally there
Wow.
because his problems just weren't getting solved, to be
Yeah.
Mm.
blunt with it. And
Like
that
like
could either be,
if you had an issue with your kayak and you called customer service, there was no support.
yeah, I mean, just a bunch of warranty boats, issues that were happening that weren't getting resolved. And just
Hmm.
like, I didn't think that there was a great direction, personally speaking, great direction in where they were trying to go, how they were utilizing people on their team or their marketing. I just think that there was glaring issues that just like was a lot of I don't want to say I don't think smoke and mirrors is the right term, but like trying to just put a band-aid on it and get through it to
Yeah.
the next thing and just hope people don't care, which nowadays you're not gonna get through that. You're not gonna BS people. So I'm hopeful in that regard. Am I Do I have a lot of confidence though in Bass Pro Shops? No. Uh Not really to take, the problems and fix them. I mean, I think I could I think there's a high percentage that Hobies are going to become much more affordable, which I
Mhm.
think is a good deal. Um, whether they get completely rebranded or not, I have no idea. I don't know what that means for regional dealers for Hobie kayaks.
Mhm.
Speaking personally too with the folks at Morgan Marine that I work with here in New York who are amazing. I don't know what that means for them, or if it's only going to be Bass Pro Shop storefront now. So it's going to be interesting. But I have high hopes, and I'm trying to remain optimistic in this one because I think it's a better situation than they were in prior to being bought out.
Yeah, I
So
could also see the other flip side of it. Like they might force any boat dealership that carries like White River Marine boats to carry Hobie kayaks on them now too. But what if in the situation of Morgan Marine, right? Like, what if they go back like, well, you carry Hobie, so now we need you to also bring on these brands of boats. So now maybe some of these smaller dealers that also sell boats will have a decision to make because I feel like that's the way Bass Pro
yeah,
operates. They want you to have everything or nothing.
yeah, the private equity formula of we want you all or nothing. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a giant correlation here with, um, boat brands and kayak brands. I think those are just two completely different spaces when it comes to product. Um, but I think like putting on the lens for the consumer, what I'm trying to do here, like I understand private equity is the thing here. I personally am a fan of competition. I like when small brands stay small brands. Um, But that being said, if they're already having issues, maybe they scaled too fast and they didn't have the support in place to take care of everything and quality control issues, et cetera. And so maybe that is helped out by a bigger company that, has quite literally done that with a bunch of different items in general. There is a chance, Andy and Bailey, I think you may have mentioned this too, to your points where like brands just get deleted. I don't see that happening. I think Hobie's too strong, but like we saw that with Legend Boats, right? Came in, bought Legend Boats just to get rid of some of the competition. I don't think they're going to be exclusive to Bass Pro Shops. I could be wrong there. I don't understand the kayak dealer market as well as like the boat market, but Nitro boats, Ranger boats are still sold outside of Bass Pro Shops. That being said, a lot more competition, right? Big box store
Right.
that's going to have the best pricing. People are willing to drive to go check that stuff out. So it'll be curious to how it all ends up, and I don't know. Probably, I always want to know the numbers on this stuff. Like, what does a brand like that sell for? I have no idea in the industry, but if any of you guys have any contacts for that, I'd love to just have a guesstimate on what those brands sell for.
Yeah. That was one thing that was mumbled too was would they just, throw the Hobie brand in the trash and now you have the new Bass Pro Shops Ascend 360 or whatever and just basically rebrand
They
them all.
could.
I don't think they would throw it in the trash for the pure fact that Bass Pro Shops was never even in the conversation on the kayak side. So I think I could see a potential for a rebrand where it's maybe the Hobie name is thrown away and now it's all just Bass Pro Shops own stuff, which then quality becomes a big concern. I don't know what's going to happen. It'll be very interesting to see which path they go down. But yeah, it's
I think this shows that they're not going to, like, in my opinion, if we were going to see a Bass Pro Shops branded kayak, we would have seen them create and produce that or ghost market it under another brand, right? Or something like that. So in my mind, they're buying this brand because of the value of the brand name. I could be totally wrong there, but my take is they're buying in to the brand. Now, could quality and stuff go downhill still? Absolutely, but I think Hobie's name is strong enough. Like if this isn't Legend Boats was a niche small brand versus a Ranger Boats, you know what I mean? And that's not apples to oranges when we're talking about these two things, but that's my take.
yeah. No, I'm with you. It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens if they even do anything with it. So who knows? I do know the one move they have made was move production from Mexico back to Missouri.
Oh,
So it was back stateside, which is a win.
yeah.
So that's good.
And
Um,
tariffs play and all that too, right? Like,
yeah. Yeah, which sounds like Hobie Eyewear, who are partners of ours, link down below if you guys want to get $20 off a pair. Selfless plug. But they are not involved in that. Sounds like that deal.
oh, really? That's interesting. So
Yes.
they're still
Sounds
under
like
the
they
same
have a whole different separate
entity.
deal for the next couple of years. I asked about that with Dylan over at Hobie Eyewear, which yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see the dynamic and all that goes forward. But cool deal there, news wise. Deke, I do want to take 1 second,
Yeah.
just quick, thoughts, prayers up to the family of Peyton
Mm.
Hughes, who was unfortunate young kid. He was 22 years old, passed away this week at the Bassmaster Kayak event on Toledo Bend. Um, don't know all the reasons, things like that, and we're not in the business of speculation. Just know that it's a sad deal, and sounds like wasn't wearing life jacket, which just
Devastating.
another reminder to all you guys. It's wear the damn thing. Like I understand there's a different conversation between boat and kayak, but like man, even especially on the kayak side, like I don't care if it's 100 degrees. I don't care if you look dumb. I don't care if you're wearing the floaty orange one that makes you look like a goober. Wear the dang thing because it's much better to look dumb or be uncomfortable than not be breathing. And so my thoughts and prayers go out to his family, man. That really sucks. It sucks to see that. And shout out to Steve Owens and team at Bassmaster for having to deal with that this week and doing a great job at managing that and doing everything they could to help. Tough deal, man. It's been a brutal year for fishing
I think so
and
too.
fishing community, dude.
Yeah, it's just
Mm.
it is, man, and yeah, to your point, there's been it seems like a lot of kayak and boat accidents, which there's hundreds every year in the U.S. But when it's in a tournament, especially, it's near and dear to us, and just on the water in general, just because we spend a lot of time out there, and you never know. So, totally agree on the front of wearing the PFD. It's there to save your life.
Yeah, 100%, man. Tough deal. I guess with that too, we'll get into more tournament stuff. Scott Canterbury, second dub of the year for
Good for him.
NPFL.
Dude, talk about, he said no FFS, my game, son. Holy cow.
Yeah, he said, "Give me that check."
He said, no problem. This will be my league. No problem.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, did you guys catch any of that live coverage on Logan Martin?
I did
I
not.
unfortunately did not.
How was he catching it?
All I know is I didn't get to tune into a lot, but every time I did tune in, all I saw was somebody roping one. So it sounded like it was a fun event.
Was he throwing a buzzbait or something like very Scott Canterbury like?
I think he was jigging it, man.
Oh, he loves that
Getting
jig.
jiggy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, home turf. So I mean, it sounded like the favorites were heavy towards Scott Canterbury as it was. But another Elite Series guy walks away with a tournament win, but also Angler of the Year as Patty Walters walks away with 2025 Angler of the Year. And I don't. Can I say for all of us, we're not surprised?
No,
at all.
No. It was
It
close
was.
though, right? I saw some Instagram
I think
posts.
going into the final day, Kyle Welcher actually had an 8-point lead on Patty. So he
almost went back to back.
Hammers chasing it.
I will say though, if Zach Burge could get a full schedule under his belt, because he was having a hot year this year, I know that, and just missed some because of the BPT, which had another top 5 or 6 in AOI and BPT side. Give him a full season. That's gonna be fun to watch between Walters, Welcher, Burge. There's some freaking hammer sticks over there now. If they get a full schedule, it's gonna be pretty fun. But championships next week,
I
Andy?
believe
Is that
so.
correct?
I can double check that now, but I believe it is next week at Hartwell.
Oh, cool. Fall Hartwell. Well, kind of fall Hartwell.
That could be interesting too.
Yeah.
Because they're probably doing that weird thing, and then you got the hurricane kind of just off the coast there too. Like,
Didn't even know there's a hurricane going on.
yeah,
Thanks, Andy,
it's
my weatherman.
it's
Meteorologist
close.
Andy.
Like, yeah, right around October 1st or 2nd, it's gonna kind of hover off the South Carolina Georgia coast, and then it looks like it's gonna turn out to sea. And then around the 8th, it might come back and hit areas that Sandy was hit really bad a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Oh,
that's just a couple model runs. A lot of them have it going out to sea, but we'll see.
We seriously need to make an in-studio like
green screen
edit and just out to you, Andy. Meteorologist Andy, give us the weather forecast for this week.
Like, hey, with rain. Actually, Andy, the next time you're on the water and it is ripping rain, please take a video of just what Bailey just said. And out to you, Andy. We're out here today. That'll just be like, that'll be the clip every time on fishing when we go to talk weather. It's just a video of Andy getting hit in the face with
That's
hails.
a great idea just for like story wise, like on Instagram. Today's daily weather report: flat, calm, fishing sucks.
And today's report: the weatherman lies.
The weatherman lies, and it's gassing 40.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be, Andy. You should start a real series of that. Legit, that would be so entertaining.
Funny.
Doing like 50 miles an hour in the bass boat while it's pouring and just holding the camera up. This really hurts.
Yeah, we love it here.
Oh
yeah, that'd be good.
Oh gosh, I love it.
Last tournament update here, guys. The EQs, the open EQs, super interesting, right? So this is to remind everybody, the 3 tournaments at the end of the season.
Yeah.
It's 3, right? Or is it 4?
Yes.
3. Yep. Okay. Yeah, we've got Wheeler next this weekend, but basically it goes the 3 tournaments. You've got Elite Series guys hopping in them, jackpotting them. Emil Wagner winning on
Champlain.
Champlain. Okay. Yeah. And then guys are competing for their slots in the Elite Series here. So this is the top 100 guys, 50 from each division. I think top 9 total make it into the elites. So super interesting to watch. I'm curious. Question for you guys: if you bomb the first one, do you fish the next two? Are we going to see a dropout? Say you bomb two, is it going to completely change the points? Because like, why would you make the trip to Florida if you've got little to no shot at making the elites? You know what I mean?
I think that's why they were hoping for elite anglers to join, right? Because I think if they join, they have to fish all 3, maybe. I think because it's signing up for a
Uh,
series, right? Like all 3.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think you can. I mean, it's just like any other. Like you may have to lose your
Mhm.
deposit any other tournament, but like you could do the same in the elites or anything else. You don't have to fish
Hmm.
an event necessarily.
I think I think if you have the money aside that you're gonna try and fish these event, which by the way, looking at a bomb out of this field and you still catch him is like it's nothing to be ashamed of because this field is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
The weights were absolutely unreal
Oh yeah,
how
it was
tight they were.
insane.
Um, to another level. But I think, dude, I mean, it can just as easily flip. I think. I
Really?
think points wise, I think it's gonna be tough. I don't know. I mean, I'm terrible at math, dude. I just think that like if you got 2 more opportunities and you already had it in their budget to go fish them, like you're talking about potential classic. So like, just
If
go
you win,
fish them.
if
Yeah,
you win one, is it a classic even if you're not
correct.
in the points?
I believe it's still taken as like a regular open, where if you win it and you fish the whole division or whatever, then you're going to the classic.
Oh, interesting. That could change
I
things.
believe
The reason,
99% sure.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think that like we saw this in the opens previously, right? Where if you didn't have a good season, you start to tail off. It's like, where's my money best put? And sometimes it's not in those last couple events because it's all the way to drive down to Florida. I mean, that's a $4,000 or $5,000 trip, right? So I
Yeah,
understand the idea of not necessarily fishing that last one, but I'm curious
yeah,
because if that happens, so say 30 guys don't fish it, it could really swing the points for everybody else. You
Hmm.
know what I mean?
yeah. No, that makes total sense. It could change a lot of things. I think if financials are obviously a stressor, then I could totally I understand people not fishing them if they had, if they were in the bottom 20%. But man, I feel like if you got it, if financials aren't a huge stressor, like you're one, you still have a shot for the classic, which I'm 99% sure is still the rule. And then two, like beyond, I mean, this is as close to a elite series environment as you're going
Good
to get. So I feel
experience.
like take the practice time because if you don't win it, or make it obviously this year, you're that talented and you're likely you can make it back the following year. And it's just it might set you up better for that following year, being in that environment, being around that smaller field, and obviously be able to understand certain things. Especially say if it's a fishery that you've never been to before, that might help too. Like in just in regards of like taking that as, hey, look, if we have 2 great events going forward, we might, get lucky and make it in, but, like, I think just take it as
Yeah.
learning, you know? I think that might be that is speaking on the half glass full, financials aren't a giant burden and, maybe a smart decision is not going, but that's
Well, this
just
is,
It's also
yeah,
fall. Anything can
I mean,
happen this time of year, right? Like you could be in last and you go to Wheeler and all of a sudden you win and you're like 20th, 25th in points. You're like, ooh, now if I catch him this next event, I'm in the elites, right? Because you just never know. And Florida's always going to Florida.
yeah,
So,
that's a fact, but
so
yeah, it'll be interesting.
so here
Well,
is, I did find the cheat sheet for it all. So just to confirm everything, guys, it is top 10 Elite Series berths, right, are going to go.
okay, to
You bet.
10, not 9, alright.
So that's why you're seeing. I think that's why you're seeing Mark Menendez and guys that were kicked out, right, hopping into this. Um, then it's classic berth for each winner of all 3 events, and then it does say must compete as a pro angler in all 3 tournaments in the elite qualifiers to fish all days to eligible qualify, unless approved by the tournament director. Blah blah blah. So yeah, so I think that's right. You for those prizes or for sure, obviously the Elite Series berth. But this is what has me thinking. It's a guy that I compete against that I don't know what he's doing, but Christian Ostrander, right? So I'm curious, and I should just shoot him a text, but he I don't think had the best tournament on Champlain. He has,
80th.
yeah. So then think about this. He already missed Almanor, which was a boat giveaway on a place next to his home. Then you go California Delta, where he lives, is a Super 60 event this weekend. So he could either go to the EQs or fish a Super 60 on his home pond. And then Clear Lake in November is the same time as the Okeechobee tournament. So it's like, how do you
Dang.
how do you judge that? Those are two, you know, $50,000+ events. If you win them, where he's won both of those places, you know what I mean? So
Dang, in his position right now, sitting in
I'm
80th
going
for
home.
that. I'm
I'm
going home and taking the
Or
money,
trying.
man. Or at
right.
least a shot at money anyway. But
I'm
yeah, I
hoping
mean,
he doesn't, but he's probably coming home. Who
well,
knows?
I say for
We'll
your
see.
sake, because yeah, you're competing against him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so right now, real fast, the top 10 are in first Matt Messer, Cody Stahl, Sam Hangy, Christian Nash, Gray Buck,
Great
Aaron
buck.
Jegfeld, our
Wow.
boy Garrett Paquette
Let's
in
go.
7th, Russ Lane in 8th,
Wow.
Alec Morrison in 9th, and 10th right now we have Jace
Alec
Lindsay.
Morrison's going to
How
be a
sick would it
sneaky
be?
one in
Alec
Florida.
Morrison. Oh man, I would be so pumped if he makes the elites. That would be so sick.
He's gonna go win that freaking one in Florida on a glide
Who's
bait.
that?
Just watch.
Oh,
Alec
yeah.
Morrison.
Unreal puncher, too, right? Like, he fishes with Garrett Rockamora all the time. So, yeah.
Yeah. Kid's been nose to the grindstone.
He's
He's
been
been
notes to the
getting that.
grindstone and like winters in Florida, so Penn's probably has had plenty of time on Okeechobee.
Winners
Maybe.
in Florida and
Yeah.
Texas. He's just unreal.
Absolutely
Chasing
unreal.
the dream. You know what I mean? So much respect.
Yeah.
For that. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, we said this was going to be a quicker show. We haven't really actually gotten to our podcast topic yet, and
I
it's
know,
30 minutes in.
I'm watching this sun. Just like I'm hoping these deer are still going to be out, but we're okay. We're okay.
Well, we'll rip this real fast. But real quick before we get into the podcast topic here, guys, is right now, as always, Omnia Fishing. You guys can get 10% off. Use code Series 10. It's always down below, linked for you guys, as well as links to sales, new arrivals, which right now, Sunlight or Omnia just got in Sunline's new Big Bait FC fluorocarbon. So I'm intrigued to try that, as well as the G Crack 18-inch finesse worm that they just got in. That's been kind of like the rave that Nico in that thing. Some little movement going on with that, so I'm gonna try it. I mean, gotta try it. Right? I'll catch like a 4-inch smallmouth on that
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
of course. But that's cool to try out. And then lastly, we're talking about fall right now. Fall time is a good time to be a pro member. Having that water temperature map, the vegetation map, things like that. Good deals to be keeping an eye on, especially if you're only getting out on a Saturday or a Sunday in the week and you're working that 9 to 5 during the week. When now that you don't have much time after work, light wise, to get out on the water, take advantage of that. Do some study from the couch, but take advantage of being a pro member, especially this time of year. But fellas, podcast topic, one that we wanted to get into. And this is not just completely forward-facing sonar related. This is full encompassing electronics. Have electronics made us anglers naturally impatient? Meaning we don't spend too much time in an area if we don't see what we want via electronics or instincts, or even like per cast. Are we only given a cast, say, 10 to 20 feet before reeling it back and kind of wasting the rest of that cast? Does that make sense? I guess we'll kick it over to you, Andy, first. Do you think electronics have made us impatient?
I wouldn't say it's made me personally impatient, because there are days that I'm like, I know I just need to sit here on the juice, right? And they're going to fire at some point. And then when it's like a scattered pattern and I need to go, I feel like being on the water so much, it's kind of taught me when to go or when to stay more. And I think that's something that we learn as we fish more and we're on the water more, right? Like, we're better in situations that normally we wouldn't be if we weren't on the water all the time. But the biggest tool, like out of all of them by far for me, is side scan. Like I eliminate water so fast just by going out and idling and looking and knowing what to look for and what those fish are on. And I would say graphing, in a way, I get impatient graphing because I know where they should be, especially when I'm on my home pond. But on lakes I've never been to, it, I would say, yeah, I'm probably more impatient on lakes that I don't normally fish than I am on my home pond, just because I don't always know what's going on. So I'm trying to do 40,000 things, and I love junk fishing. So
Yeah, makes sense.
long
So yeah, I mean,
roundabout answer.
being patient because you know to be patient
Yeah.
based on years of experience. Okay,
Right.
Deacon.
Man, I think I'm going to go. When we first wrote down this topic and we're texting about it, my initial gut reaction was, yeah, it makes me way less patient, right? Like, I mean, we live in a world of instant gratification. Electronics are no different, especially forward facing sonar for me. Um, that being said, I think it has done the opposite for fishing thoroughly in areas for me. I think it's actually made me way, way, way more patient, almost too patient. And what I mean by that is, say I get in, like now, I think about this when I am truly practicing for a tournament. I now cover way less water than I ever did before with forward facing sonar. And that's almost counter. You think it would be the opposite, to where it's like, okay, you're just going to cover so much water because you can see everything that's going on. But what I've found is I pull up in an area and I will just cover an entire huge, bay. And I'm just looking for every little detail, every brush pile, every fish that's suspended, every dock, every little thing that I can find in an area, almost to a negative. And I don't burn nearly as much gas now in tournaments or in practice than I ever did. And so I think it's actually made me slow down overall. Now, there's still going to be times where I pull that trolling motor down, and I'm like, they're not here, right? I'm going to go, be impatient. And there could still be fish sitting on the bottom that I never saw. And we see that all the time. But I think overall, my perspective is it's made me actually more patient, almost maybe too patient. But it's paid off. Sometimes those are some of my best tournaments, or when I don't leave an area, right? I just work the
Mm-hmm.
crap out of it.
Yeah, no, I like that approach, and I think for sure for me, electronics, both side imaging and forward facing, have made me. I don't say have made because it depends on if I have them or not. The nice part with me being the kayak guy here is I can choose to whether leave my electronics in the truck or bring them out. Like it's not just turn on a button, put the trolling motor down, and they're there at the ready. So like when I don't bring them, like there's some days I love going on the bank or going on a grass line or whatever, and I just will throw a Nico or drag a football jig or something, and I just pick apart stuff. And then I put the sonar or the electronics on. And speaking on side imaging, even by itself, there's so many times, dude, where one of my faults that I've learned to get better at was I so often, especially on new fisheries, go look for that needle in a haystack that it burns me because I have all this stuff that I can see on side imaging that I'm just like, it's not the holy grail just yet. That I just don't sit down on an area and try to learn it when it does have fish. Where I'm just looking for the mega school or that one rock pile in the middle of nowhere, something that's not marked on the map, whatever. Where that I feel like that has made me impatient when I do that. Uh, but I think on the flip, forward facing sonar has made me, to Deacon's point, almost too impatient, where it's like you go and catch a good one in an area and you might just literally be trying to pick it apart to completion
You mean
where you're
too patient?
yeah, too patient, or I'm saying like it makes you spend too much time in an area when you should be likely leaving an area where, and maybe that's just what you call a decoy bass, but like when you see that, or you could see them on forward facing, they're not eating, it might make you go through 3, 5 more baits and different techniques before you pull up the trolling motor and leave, where it's when you probably should have left in the first place. So I think
Right.
it it depends on that. But you can say on the flip too that forward facing could make you more impatient because you don't see exactly what you want to see, pick back up
Yeah.
and go. So it's, but for me anyway, it's side imaging is the one I think the culprit for making me impatient when I'm at least looking
Well, it's
for
funny,
areas.
like they when you say that with like forward facing sonar, when I get on a specific bite, like and I throw at fish, I won't even give them more than like 3 or 4 casts. I'm like, yeah, he's just not eating. I'm gonna go find one that wants to eat. I like I am so guilty of just like putting my trolling motor on 9 and chasing fish around because I'm like, I'm gonna get 5 to 7 of them to eat, and they're gonna be the ones I want. So I don't even care. So like in that terms, it definitely has made me impatient, but I've gotten so thorough at catching them in an area, as to your point, Deacon, that I'm like, I don't have to leave. I know the pattern to win or to catch a giant bag. I just need to stick it out and stick to my guns, put one rod in my hand and go. And usually it works out in my favor.
Or you crash and burn, and next thing you know, you got 1 hour
And I'm
left in the
like, where
day,
can I go?
and you
Where can
got
I go
nothing
and
in
get
the boat.
20
I've done
pounds real
that.
quick? Oh, yeah. Always have a backup plan.
Yeah. It's
That's what I've seen, especially new anglers, and I'm sure you guys can agree with this. Is it's not the put it on your boat and automatically you're seeing magical blobs flying out of there that magically come up and eat everything. It's I see so often, whether people ask to help dial in a setup or how to use it, and there's like, yeah, I just next thing I know, I put the forward facing down and it's 12:30 and I got an hour left in the tournament. I haven't caught a
Yeah,
freaking
yeah.
bass yet.
mm,
And it's just it can spin so many people out. But yeah, it can make you too patient, or I think when you get good with it, it can make you I don't know.
efficient.
Do you think it's a good thing to be impatient with it? Because like you know what you're looking for.
Dude, I think it's totally situational, lake
Yeah.
dependent, derby dependent, how
How the
you
fish
fish
are
it.
just simply
I think
reacting to
I
your
think
bait. Like,
what I love about this question is you could go 100 different ways with it, and that's
True.
partially why I love tournament bass fishing. People ask me all the time, like, why bass? Like, why bass? And of course, the tournament side for me is really cool. But the reason I think bass fishing is so cool compared to all other species, I'm throwing everything else under the bus here, is that you could go catch them in 6 inches of water or in 90 feet on the same body of water sometimes. And you could do it 100 different ways. And that's what makes it so fun to me. And so, like, the same way, electronics, not electronics, whatever it may be, like, you can spend too much time doing it, you can spend not enough time doing it. It's a whole mind game that is always changing, and we're always learning and finding new baits. And it's just like that's what keeps us coming back, electronics or not. I think those are the
Yeah.
characteristics of just tournament bat or just bass fishing in
yeah.
general.
And
Well, I guess here's one question we can conclude on then is the age old saying that you guys we've been as anglers been taught since the day we started fishing is, well, fishing teaches you patience. Do we think that's true? I think it's the counter
I
of
mean,
it.
What a
it
good
depends
question.
on the day, right? Like, if I'm sitting on the dock drinking a beer with a bobber and a worm, I'm the most patient person in the world. Sometimes, like, it's like they should be eating this. This is like natural food, and then other times I'm like, nope, I need to go. Like, it's fun. It's all
I think
situational based.
I think yeah. I think simply put, I think the better you get at fishing, the more impatient you get when you're not
Dude, I
getting
was
bit.
just gonna say it's a
Yeah.
levels thing. I think that goes for everything, and I don't think that that's necessarily positive. But I think, like, right, I mean, the more the as you climb levels and become more efficient at breaking down bodies of water and catching fish, you just look for the right things, and if it's not happening, you're like, I'm going to put it on the trailer. I don't need to spend the time right now to go necessarily do this. Or you're going to say, okay, this isn't working. I'm getting frustrated, impatient, whatever you want to call it. But I think that's how we do everything, and I think it can burn us. Like, I'm looking for mule deer right now, and I've kind of patterned what they're doing. And if they're not doing that, I'm just like, well, there's no point in chasing them right now because they're not where I want them to be, where I have my best shot at killing one. But in reality, there's been plenty of times, just like in fishing, where if I just was patient and sat in the same spot for maybe a couple more hours than I wanted to, I could have one walk right by me, right? Or if you're sitting on that point and you're dragging a Carolina rig like you're freaking Denny Brower in 1982, and you're sitting there like, well, I could go find one on forward facing over here, over there. You might catch a 7-pounder dragging that Carolina rig. So it's like, I think it's to a detriment, but I don't think we're as fishing does not teach you patience as you climb levels. That's my point.
Yeah, I think if you like
The better you get at fishing, it teaches you to
grassroots
be
level
more
fishing, right? Like as I'd sitting on the dock with that bobber and a night crawler, like 100% it teaches you patience, right? Like everything of that is so calculated on just catching the fish when they bite your worm instead of them stealing it. But when it comes to tournament fishing, there's a fine balance of being impatient but patient at the same time. And patience could be keeping them one rod in your hand the entire day, knowing that's what they're going to bite. I need to trick 5 to 7 fish to bite it. Or the impatient side is, I need to run 75 rock piles today to get those 5 to 7 bites. But guess what? You probably still have the same 1 or 2 rods or baits in your hand doing it. So it's like,
I think it's you start off at the beginning, like you mentioned, Andy, the bobber and stuff starts teaching you a little bit of patience. And you lose all of that once you start getting addicted to fishing. And then the final boss is the guy that can flip grass all day long, or that Florida worm dragger for 5 bites all day. And like that is the final boss, and it turns back to patience. They just mastered
there
it.
you go.
Yeah, it goes the dude. That's such a good point. I mean, I think about, and this is pre forward facing any of that. Probably one of the biggest mistakes I would make in fishing, and don't even call it, in tournament fishing or regular fishing. Once you start to gain tackle and techniques and confidence, you're just like boom, 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 change. When you're like in that beginning phase, you're like jerkbait, Senko, whatever, it's crankbait. I'm just gonna keep changing. And in reality, it didn't matter. You would have caught him if you would have stuck with one rod in your hand, and just found the actual fish. So I agree. I think
So
that's a good point.
Deacon, if you ever want to see a mad, like crazy unorganized bass boat, get in the boat with Bailey and I just one day when we're fishing a tournament. Bailey will bring 31 rods. I'll have all the rods in my boat on the deck, and we fish one rod each the entire day. Like it's like, why do we have so much stuff out? And the boat's a disaster, and we're like, all right, well, this is what we're doing.
Yep.
That's my biggest problem. I'll have 94 rods rigged and use 3. I'm like, why did I waste my entire evening the night before a tournament? Stayed up till 11 o'clock, and I should have been in bed by 8.
We laugh about it like literally every time. Like the one term where we're like, this is how we're going to catch them. We end up catching them swimming a worm, right? Like, and we threw a worm all day long. Or what was another one? I think we're on a flipping bite, and we had like 70 rods on the deck and on the boat. And we just ended up like punching grass and flipping grass all day.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds about right. Well, I'll kick that too, whether you guys are watching this on YouTube or listening. I know like Spotify specifically, you guys can comment on the episodes. Let us know what you guys think. Has it made you more efficient, least efficient? Let us know it on the comments on the YouTube side. But I'm curious on this one. And definitely want to incorporate more of these like single question topic discussions, especially the 3 of us going forward. But let us know what you guys thought of today's episode. Sorry again for the inconsistency. We're looking to fix that immediately going forth for the rest of 2025. As 3 days, boys. I mean, this episode drops and it is already the 10th month of the year for 2025, which is a crazy thought. But year's coming to a close. Fellas, anything else for the folks before we tune out of this sucker and let Deacon go try to kill one?
No, I'm excited to see like some of the comments on, because I hope people critically think about their answer, because I feel like if they start typing it out and they think about it, they're going to delete it and retype like 7 to 10 times the deeper in thought you go. So like I feel like in like thought and preparing for this, I feel like I've changed my answer like 10 to 12 times. Like, no, wait, that's wrong. Like I actually like do this. And I'm like, crap, but it depends on the day. So like, yeah.
It's awesome. Like, yeah. Well, actually, that being said, this episode dropping on October 1st on Wednesday. Deke, good luck this coming weekend, the last regular season BAM Tour Derb of the year. Any final thoughts, comments, dreams, worries going into this one?
No, man. I mean, I'm just fired up to get to the Delta. I've never fished it in the fall. but it's one of those places where like your electronics are not going to play, or very, very little, if any. I will not be looking at it very much. So I'm excited to focus up, stay patient, and make it happen. So I love this open-ended question in this show. So props to the topic, Bailey idea, and hopefully we do more of them. I agree. Hopefully people like it, but I think it's a deep thinking, fun question to think about.
Heck yeah. Well, dude, good luck this weekend. Obviously, we'll be rooting
Go
for
get
you.
'em.
And yeah, folks, appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. You guys are amazing, and we'll see you on the next one.